Hey there, my name is Josh. I created the project that we're about to dive into, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what you're about to see and how it can be used. So, in the realm of capital projects, RFPs come up all over the place, and bid submissions can be more reactionary than proactive. And so, in an effort to address this issue and take a more broad view of the field ahead and see what's out there, I was contracted to sort of create this project pipeline of all of the post-secondary education institutions in the country for dialogue design. And what this is a system of spreadsheets that is a very high level summary view of the capital projects available in each province. And these spreadsheets are separated by province, with the exception of the Maritimes that are kind of all grouped into one, and the Northwest Territories that are also grouped into their own, just due to the fact that there are not many institutions in those areas. They're just grouped together for that reason. And so I'm going to show you how to navigate this pipeline project folder that will be shared with you. It might seem confusing without this explanation, and so I thought it might be best to provide some demonstration. So when you open the link to the folder, you will either land here or within this folder. And so when you go inside, like I said, I've separated all of the capital project work by province. And so the first folder is the README folder, which will actually have the document that has the video link that brings you to this video. And so the README is very important to start with because it's got information on written explanations on what this is and how it works, and it provides some examples. So if you're more of a person who learns through reading versus video, then that might be more suited to you. So if that's the case, then go there. If not, which I'm assuming it's not because you're now in this video, I'll provide some explanation. So let's say you wanted to find a project that was available at a specific university. And so we'll take the University of Toronto, for example. So we know that Toronto is in Ontario. So you go to Ontario, and you double click and go inside, and then you would go into the universities folder. Now this is where the overview spreadsheets for Ontario lives, but we'll get into that in a second. So we'll continue looking for the University of Toronto. So you go to universities and ignore those numbers because those numbers here are just for sorting purposes. They don't mean anything other than that. So go into universities, find the University of Toronto, and there's nothing there currently because this is the folder, this is the file that I have yet to copy. So that was a bad example, University of Toronto, but I think I've copied McMaster, so I have. So if you're looking for McMaster University, you then go into McMaster, and then this is the summary sheet for McMaster. So that has I'll just show you what it has. It's got a very high level summary of all the capital projects available at the school, and then as you scroll down, it gets into a little bit more detail. So at a high level, you've got information like your project name, the use of the project, so that might be an academic use or an institutional use or recreational use, and so on and so forth. The size of the projects, the value of the projects estimated according to the publicly available planning documents, and any start dates that might be available. I also include contact information where I can. These are people that I have that look to be most relevant to capital projects, and when possible, I will link their LinkedIn profile so that you can either see if you're connected or reach out yourself or make use of that information. Okay, so that's how you get to a single institution if you know what you're looking for. The information from this summary, when I make the overview, goes directly into the overview spreadsheet. So everything you're about to see in the overview spreadsheet, which is the high-level summary of all capital projects in Ontario, the projects from McMaster would come from this document. So I would go through a planning document first, make this summary, and then I would get from this summary, I would insert the information into the planning document, the overview spreadsheet. So to get there, we'll just go to the top of the file order here, back to the pipeline project, and we'll go back into Ontario because the overview spreadsheets are also separated by province. So we'll go into the overview spreadsheets, and we'll look at the All Ontario Post-Secondary Education Institutions. This first document here is the one that I have made for Dialogue Design. It has all of the projects in Ontario that I was able to find in publicly available planning documents to date. This in-house version was made specifically for Ellis Don, for the sake of adding new projects that anyone who might be using the spreadsheet might find through contacts or word of mouth that you can then add, and then at a later date we could merge these two. But for the sake of preserving what has been handed off to Ellis Don at the time of the creation, at the time of the creation of this video and of the database, I've just made a direct copy of the current form of our database. So I'll show you how it looks with information inserted. So this is your, and I'll get into this in into more videos that will be found in the README tab of every single overview spreadsheet. Every single overview spreadsheet, which is what you're looking at now, will have a README tab on the far left, and that will explain the inner workings of this spreadsheet. But I'll just give you a very high-level explanation right now. So what you're seeing is on the left side here, you've got a summary of all institutions in the province. You can use these little boxes here to expand and show extra information or collapse them if you only need to know certain pieces of information. So when you expand them, you can see the number of future building projects available at any institution, as well as the population of that institution and the city of that institution if you choose to expand this lower box, or you can hide that for project information specifically. You can just expand this first one. It'll give you the institution name, the future available projects there according to their planning documents, and then the total sum of those projects. If you were to build all of those projects according to their estimated costs or my estimated costs, and I leave notes when I make my own estimates in the summary sheet that I just showed you in the summary document, this is a sum of all of those projects. Over here is a spot for notes, and you can add your notes here, and then the columns here are all grouped by filter. So what that means is you can use this little triangle to sort the spreadsheet, and these rows will move together, and that's because of how I set up the formulas in the spreadsheet. So all you need to know here is that this is your summary level info. You can make notes here, and then by using these triangles you can sort, and the rows will move together. On the right side here, I'll just collapse this to make things simpler. On the right side, you have information specific to a single institution, and you can investigate a specific institution by using this drop-down menu. So this has all of the institutions listed. So if we were to go back to McMaster, sorted alphabetically, McMaster University, it would load all the projects available for McMaster. Again, I've made use of this drop menu functionality up here with this little gray box with the cross in it to expand more information. But for the sake of for project information that's the most high level, I've hidden some of it. So at the highest level here, you see the name of the project, the use of the project, the size of the project, the cost of the project. Those are those pieces of information that we saw in the institution spreadsheet. So if I were to go back to McMaster, right there, open this, you will see these pieces of information, name, use, size, value, and then also start date, are essentially just copied. So that's what you'd see here. And then when you expand this, you see the owner of that institution, or of the project, the project type, the planned start, and the planned end dates if they're available, and then whether or not it's been started. This is the summary sheet. This is all pulled. All the information here is not entered here. As you can see, it loads. It loads these tables according to the input that you make. It pulls information from other places in the spreadsheet. You've got your universities tab, colleges tab, and your research parks tab. Those all have their projects underneath the institution name with these drop-down folders. And so in the README file, I'll explain how this all works. But what you need to know is that there's this drop-down functionality for inserting projects. And this is where all the information is inserted from which the summary tab pulls. I think that's all that you need to know. I might make more videos to explain other things that might be less obvious than I think they are, because I work with this all day, every day, for the sake of the creation of this. So I'm pretty familiar, but if I think something might be unclear, I will make more videos to clarify that. So thanks for watching. I hope it made sense, and be sure to read those README tabs in the spreadsheets if you need to use them or make any changes.